Notre Dame football is heading back to the national title for the first time since 2012 following their 27-24 victory over the Penn State Nittany Lions. What a strange game. Ups, downs, and everything in between. But for me, it came down to two key takeaways for the Fighting Irish to defeat the Penn State Nittany Lions, and I want to talk about them right now. Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports breaking down everything Notre Dame football as they have defeated the Penn State Nittany Lions in the semifinals of the college football playoff to advance to a national title. First time since 2012, and hopefully their first national title victory since 1988. But we'll be talking about that for a large portion of the next week plus, talking about the importance of this game coming up, of what Notre Dame has accomplished and what they will continue to accomplish. Head coach Marcus Freeman, all those storylines will be there, folks. But want to recap this game because, man, it was one of those games that made you feel like you lost some hair, made you feel like you just lost some time off your life, made you feel like your heart was going to burst out of your chest at times. It was a game littered with ups, downs, and everything else. All the emotions of what makes being a sports fan great was in this football game. And it came down to two big things for me, and I want to talk about them here. First and foremost, resiliency is the word of the day for me. Would be lying to you all if I said that there weren't a couple moments where I didn't know if this was going to go Notre Dame's way. We could talk about early in the football game when Notre Dame was down 10-0 and they were getting run on and the offense wasn't playing very well and everything just looked very stagnated and defeated. We could talk about some guys getting banged up in this football game. At one point, Riley Leonard had to go to the medical tent. We saw Anthony Knapp out of this football game. We saw Rocco Spindler get banged up. We even saw Howard Cross hobble off at one point in this game as well. You could also talk about after you go up 17-10, you give up a quick touchdown to let them tie it. You throw an interception. You give up the lead. You have an opportunity as a game-winning field goal, but then you get stopped and you have to punt it back to them with less than a minute. Like, there were so many moments where this Notre Dame team, honestly, they could have just quit. They could have gave up. They could have said, we had a great season. We defied the odds. We beat Georgia. We did so many great things and rest on those. But instead, this team continued to adopt and to believe in the philosophy and the temperament that head coach Marcus Freeman brings to the table. And you saw it right after the first half ended. When they came out for the second half, immediately, you saw a different team. They looked different. They carried themselves different. Their energy was different. Everything about that flip was different. And being able to, after giving the ball back with less than a minute, to be able to get an interception and to be able to get yourself in the field goal range and to make a field goal, something that has been a struggle throughout the year but has turned into a plus in the playoffs now with place kicker Mitch Jeter. A testament to the resiliency of this team. This team, despite the flaws that they do have, and they certainly do, they believe and they fight and they did not give up. And that was why they won that football game. Resiliency was the name of the day. My second big takeaway was to the defensive side of the ball. This was a very up and down performance from Al Golden's crew. It was one where they gave up too much rushing yards. There was some timely pass interference calls and holding calls. Like there were a couple that are questionable, and we'll talk about that as well. But in the end, when this defense needed to make a play, they did just that. For the 32nd time this year, Notre Dame recorded a takeaway, which is the most in college football. Christian Gray, 33 seconds on the clock, holds in an interception from Drew Aller to set them up just outside of field goal range, and the rest was history from there. Christian Gray's third interception of the season, and just I don't even know what else to say about this defense. Despite Benjamin Morrison being out for the second half of the year, despite Riley Mills being out for the playoffs, despite Howard Cross being clearly banged up still, this defense keeps making plays, man. And in the biggest moment, they may bend at times, but they did not break. And they have not broken now for a long time. So shout out to Al Golden, this defense, Marcus Freeman, and everybody else involved. Going to the national championship, folks. Make sure A to Z Sports is the place to be. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will have all the coverage leading up to the game and afterwards. And as always, go Irish.